All right, let's go over some of the static measurements you see typically. So the first one is going to be camber, and I'm going to show you camber here, and that's basically how the front wheels align from a front view from the vertical. So you can see that would be 0 degrees camber. If the top was canted in or leaning in like this would be negative camber. And if they were leaning out, this would be positive camber. And typically what happens is when you have the suspension compressed, you'll get negative camber. So I'm going to play this through, and you'll see as the suspension compresses, if the front or the tires lean in or the top leans in, and you get negative camber, and then in rebound, they lean out, so you get positive camber. Oops. So you can see that. If we look at a top view, you have the toe angle, which defines where the tires are heading. So if we drew a straight line along the direction of the vehicle, that would be 0 toe. If the tires were pointing in like this, that would be toe in. And if they were pointing out like this, that would be toe out. So this has 0 toe angle right now. All right, let's go over some of the steering measurements. So I'm going to go into a side view, and I'm going to hide the tire and the wheel. Now if we look at a side view, so we're looking at the left side upright here, and then the right side tire. We want to talk about the caster angle, and that's the angle the steering has. So here's the caster angle. If it was 0, it would look like this. So it has a little bit of caster, and caster is useful because it'll actually add camber when the vehicle is turning. So you generally want a little bit of caster like this. And another effect, depending on how you have it set up, is that it'll add trail. So the other dimension we want to talk about is trail. And trail is the difference between where the tire touches the ground, which is right here, and where the intersection of the caster angle is. So right here. So this would be our trail between these two lines. And I can't think of any situation where you wouldn't want a little bit of trail, because that gives you self-centering steering. So the farther behind the contact patch of the tire to where the caster angle intersects the ground, the more self-steering you're going to have. And you don't want it to be extreme. You wouldn't want the caster angle to be like this, but you do want some. All right. So that was trail and caster angle. If we look at it from a front view, let me unhide the tire. We have the kingpin inclination, or kingpin angle, and that's this angle. So the steering axis, like that. So if it was 0, it would just go straight down. And the kingpin inclination or angle will help you reduce the scrub radius. And the scrub radius is the distance between where the kingpin angle intersects the ground and where the center of the contact patch is. So it would be this dimension right here. And again, you probably want it to be on this side, but you don't want it to be extreme. So if this had no kingpin angle, it'd probably be too much. That can make your steering look kind of weird because it's rotating about a point or the lever arm's a little too high. It can make your steering effort high. And you probably don't want it to be this way on the other side of the contact patch.